words would you use? Let's think of some to describe a bus.
Painful.
Painful. Give me some more.
Useful.
Useful.
Transportation.
Yes. Perfect. Good. Now,
my uncle's hit by a bus, so I kind of didn't like that you brought this up today. I told
did he
you
live?
No, I told you got hit over the weekend and died.
Okay, well.
This isn't a bit.
Notwithstanding.
This isn't a bit. That really wasn't cool. It was a bit.
It was a bit. Now, would you say you could describe something that's sus as sussy? You know?
No,
I'm not proud
couldn't.
of saying that, but how you could describe a bus probably as a bussy?
Yeah. How do you pronounce that again?
Bussy?
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
Bussy? Bussy?
Yeah.
That bus is bussy?
Is this sexual harassment?
No.
Yes.
We're talking about buses. A bussy.
Well, in the webcam, I have my ass out, and you're working it, and you bring up bussy.
That's not true.
Yeah.
You're lying. That's a lie. Second lie of the podcast.
Second line of podcast?
You've lied
what was
twice
the first
now.
One?
Your uncle died.
No, I never said that.
All right. Well.
Your friends tell you that?
No, I don't have friends.
Yeah, you don't. You only have me.
It's my coworker.
Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 18 of the Mostly Mediocre podcast. We're so happy to be back in studio. 18 episodes.
18.
2 to go. We'll be in 20.
That's math.
Thank you.
I'm Yash, and here's your other slightly less interesting host, Henry.
Only slightly. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Speaking of interesting, I was talking to Henry about this before this weekend, but I think I've been cursed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what could have caused it. Maybe the failed ghost hunting trip, where we got lost in the woods, Blair Witch style, caused it. But this weekend, it was pretty hot, and my AC just crapped out. It's out of nowhere, so that wasn't fun. And then, like a day or two after that crapped out, my power got fucked up. I tripped or something. It was just gone. Apparently, like half the breakers died, and the breaker box wasn't displaying that. And then this morning, my fridge died as well. So yeah, it's been quite the awful week so far.
You know what they say: when it rains, it pours, and in your case, it's really pouring right now.
So you just laugh over my misfortune?
I'm not laughing.
That's canceled.
I'm not laughing at you.
You're laughing with me?
I'm laughing with you.
I'm not laughing though. Does it sound like I'm laughing?
Could you?
No. I couldn't, actually.
Oh.
It's awful. After we're having my uncle this week.
Your uncle's funeral, you get home all hot and sweaty.
But yeah, no. Speaking of
you ever think about what kind of funeral you want?
Me?
Yeah.
I have. So, traditionally in my culture, they just do cremations, right? But apparently, I thought maybe I got one of those open sky burials they have in Nepal would be pretty cool. They just put your body on top of this giant ass platform and then let the birds eat you.
Oh.
Though,
cool.
There's the ones where they blow up your body and a firework or something.
Oh, okay.
But I think I just really want to be ejected into the sun.
Yeah.
Or somewhere into deep space.
I kind of feel like the midsummer route, where you don't die, you get killed before you die. When you're old.
Oh, I thought you were talking about you want to be put into a bear suit. I was going to call you a furry there. I'm be honest here.
I mean, no, I didn't, because that one he's still he feels it all. I like the one where the dude just or it's the woman. She just falls and her head just explodes.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, you know, make a spectacle of it.
Yeah, that's why. What? Okay. You want to make a spectacle of it, you say?
Yeah, everyone's got to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Times Square level event, you know? Like the ball dropping, but it's just me.
It's your corpse, your lifeless body as it
You know what
splooches on the
that makes
floor.
me think of? This is going to sound awful, but when I was young, I was like really obsessed with like the saw traps.
Oh.
I thought they were just like cool. The concept was cool. Obviously, it's like it's terrifying and scary and awful, right? But I love to watch like the videos and explanations of the saw traps in all the different movies.
And
And there
this
was
couple of your
one.
love for true crime makes you think that I'm not so safe around you anymore.
It's a good thing we're virtual, you know. It's
No, we're in the
keeps you
studio,
safe.
remember?
In the stew.
Yeah, we're in the studio.
What are we
Sorry.
cooking up? Okay.
Um
So there was this one. It's like basically it was like this big busy public area, and there was like this trap. It was like you know how like when they unveil a statue or a building, they sort of pull this big curtain off of it, right? It was like that. So this big like velvet curtain comes off this big box, and
mhm,
inside is two um it's two women on either side and a man strapped to the ceiling, right? And there's spinning rotor like blades, right?
mhm,
On each of them, right? And so like the game is like they're in like a love triangle, like it's his girlfriend and the dude and like someone he like cheated on her with,
mhm,
right? And like they have to push like so either one of them was gonna die, and so it's like if the women push, then the dude's safe because it sort of like angles out of the way and pushes into the other girl, right? But if they put it in the middle, then it's gonna cut the guy strapped to the ceiling, right?
mhm.
And it's like what a but it's in this big glass box and everyone can see it, right? And something about like I made the connection in my brain where it's like, oh, this big public death of me dropping like the Times Square big silver New Year's ball was kind of like that.
To be honest here, I hadn't seen Saw, so I tried to like search in some of these traps while you're like describing it,
I haven't
and
seen any
you're
movies.
you're vile.
I'm sorry. Look up
There's
the one
one
I'm
called the
talking
Needle
about.
Pit.
Yeah, well, that one's just a pit of needles. It's not
Yeah,
really a
just
trap.
syringe filled needles, and they have to find a key in that needle pit of syringes. That's awful.
Listen, the
There's a
public
razor box.
execution trap. It was called.
That's not a very inventive name.
Well, I'm sorry.
The ice block trap. No, no, no. I don't
The
know. All
ice
these
block.
traps seem a little extra and a bit
I
like,
don't know. Like, I don't want to be like the people in the writers' room for Saw. I think
oh,
they need to
public
be checked up
execution.
on.
I found it.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Does
like, yeah, I think the writers need to be locked away.
yeah. Once we lock them away, we should probably lock you away. I found this one notebook in your room one day, and it was just like filled with just schematics for something I couldn't quite
Yeah.
understand. Yeah. And you said we're getting Ethan in there. We're getting my name came up somehow, and I was like, oh, what's this for? Is this like some sort of like surprise birthday party? And
Yeah.
you just said uh die 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 they will pay hee hee ha ha hee hee ha ha. And I don't know why you just wrote that. You wrote the
Oh,
hee
you
hees and
found my
ha
die
ha's.
die die notebook.
Yeah, your die 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 notebook.
You
Is
found
this
my
is
die
this
die die.
lore?
They will pay for what they've done. The
Yeah,
day of
the
reckoning shall come notebook.
yeah, I found that. And I was like, oh, this is some very interesting Henry lore right now. You know?
Oh, you found the die 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 God among men notebook.
Yeah, yeah.
It actually is for a surprise birthday party. So
Okay. Good to know.
my birthday. Okay, so we want to talk about the Olympics because, as you know, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics are happening now, July 2021,
Barely.
1 year after they were supposed to happen, canceled due to COVID. Now back, still COVID. And we wanted to delve into the history of Olympic events because there's some new fun ones this year. I think there's like 3-on-3 basketball, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Skateboarding is back after being gone for about like I think 14 or 15 years. Or even more, maybe 18 years, 18, 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's back. So we wanted to delve into and talk about some of the old Olympic games of the Olympic Games of yonder years. I think some
Mm-hmm.
are still around today. So we found this list, and we're going to talk about them. Okay, so the first one.
I was into the headlines first.
Oh, yeah, let's go with yours. Yeah, go.
Okay, yeah. So I was watching a video. It was from Internet Today. It's a nice channel. They do like news stuff, and they were just highlighting all the headlines that have happened regarding the Olympics in Japan, and the Olympics really are looking to get canceled here. So I'm just gonna read each one. I want to just hear your thoughts here. Okay. First
Mm-hmm.
one. Japan Olympics chief who said women talk too much will resign over remarks, reports say.
Um, I would say good
Rate
for
that out of
him,
10.
but I want to
We'll just
like
do tier
make
list.
sure it's known that good for him is like, um, no, not good for him. Good he
Mm-hmm.
resigns. Bad, bad for him.
Bad.
Bad?
Okay.
No, that sounds. I want to make it clear that I don't like what he said.
Uh huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think you should have said more? Is what you're telling me?
No.
That's really fucked up.
Hey now.
Okay. So we'll put that in the tier list. Okay. Would you give that one that scandal?
I think that's a pretty. It's pretty. I can't think of any previous Olympic scandals, so I'm gonna say that's a pretty big one. That's pretty big. You know, resigned. He was like
So
what? He was the organizer, or he was pretty high up.
he was a chief,
The chief.
the head of
That's
the
huge.
Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games
So
organizing
that's
committee.
like that's big. That's like if we're on a scale of 10, that's got to be. I'm gonna reserve some for the future, but if I can't retroactively fix stuff, that's an 8. I think on
It's an eight.
my 8 out of 10 there of
Okay.
levelness. Yeah.
Here's the next one. Tokyo Games creative head quits over Olympic insult. He made a derogatory comment about a female comedian.
Wait.
Yeah,
So he called.
so Tokyo Olympics creative chief has resigned after suggesting that a female comedian could appear as an Olympic, and it was a plus size entertainer that he was making fun of.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Yeah.
Um, dehumanizing to call someone
Mm-hmm.
a pig.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're thinking about who he was as a creative, he did incorporate that into his remarks, for better or
You
worse.
kind I don't know if you dodged a bullet there, but
I think that like I'm gonna say that's I don't know that's worse, right? Because that's like not only are you like it's like misogynistic, it's also like dehumanizing.
and body shaming, and it's directed at one specific person as well.
Mm-hmm. She's laser focused.
Yeah. So
No,
what would you give that one?
that's a. I don't want to like compare against the previous ones. I don't maybe like a
You have
7.
to.
Is it
Okay, seven.
less? Is
Okay.
it what?
I,
Why aren't
I see.
you? Why are you
Okay.
ranking them?
Um.
Why is it just me?
Next one. A notoriously hateful Japanese composer's music just opened the Tokyo Olympics. So in another tone deaf move, organizers used a song by a virulently homophobic and ultra nationalist figure to open the Olympics.
Oh my god!
Despite many warnings, it might go over poorly.
How? What kind of music does he make?
Um. Oh, apparently he's the guy who made the music for Dragon Quest.
Is that a video game?
Oh, yeah, no, it's a very popular video game series. So, uh, I just found the rap sheet pretty bad here.
Okay.
Sugiyama, the name's Koichi Sugiyama. Sugiyama is a composer best known for his music created for Dragon Quest game series, but he's also known for his extremist views. He's worked with LGBTQ bashers like the liberal democratic politician Mio Sugita. He's denied the Nanjing massacre by Japanese troops in the late 1930s. He stated that the Korean women who were working as sex slaves to the Japanese Empire were actually go happy lucky prostitutes. He's a misogynist who doesn't believe in the equality of the sexes, and a homophobe who doesn't believe women should be taught about homosexuality, or that LGBTQ people should receive government support as they don't produce children.
Okay. Okay.
He's hosted a show on an arch conservative television network where he and Sugita shared laughs about the plights of racial and ethnic minorities. And he ridiculed a journalist who was allegedly raped by a biographer of former President Shinzo Abe. Apparently, it was so
yes.
bad that Emperor Naruhito and his wife wanted to skip the Olympic ceremonies. So,
This makes me think like if like because obviously like I've never heard of this guy before, but like if you were at like let's say the Olympics next year, weren't in Beijing, they were in like you know Washington D.C. or something, and they just started playing like R. Kelly
mm-hmm.
at the opening ceremonies,
Yeah,
and everyone's like, "Is this R. Kelly?"
yeah, no,
That seems like what this person has done.
yeah, like this is awful. They're giving this man a platform, and also I think it really is telling that the emperor didn't want to go to the Olympics
Yeah,
because of what this really suggests. Um, Pretty bad, dude.
that's pretty bad. So he was, and they still rolled with the music. They're like, okay, this is you know,
Um, so I continue scrolling, right? Scrolling down, and it seems like the issue of Japanese composers for the Olympic Games, has been a problem.
oh,
So in the last few weeks, so on Monday, the apparently who's the original composer for the Olympic opening ceremony, Keigo Oyamada, resigned when magazine interviews resurfaced of him gleefully recounting his sexual assault, and attempted murder of fellow students with disabilities during his youth. That's
what?
not good for the Olympics and Paralympics.
He attempted to sexually assault and murder his classmates,
Fellow students, yeah, when he was younger. That's
and what?
awful.
And so he's like, they're like, okay, this guy definitely not gonna be our composer.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said the next guy. Are there what like four composers in Japan, and they're all
Uh, there's another one. Kentaro Kobayashi resigned. This is the other musical director for the opening ceremonies. He
mm-hmm.
resigned after old footage of his comedy performance revealed him referring to the Holocaust as a "Let's massacre Jewish people" game. Not cool.
No.
Now I feel like maybe I shouldn't have scrolled down because it just got worse. I think this one's really bad
There's
because
another.
that was three. That was three.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was three different people. I think this one. I'd say this news article is awful because it just kept on getting worse and worse. Like, what?
That's oh gosh.
So your rating?
Uh, I mean, ah, it sounds worse. I mean, murder, trying to murder, and so he attempted to murder his classmates, or he thought about it, or
Okay.
and he's like interviews like, yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to murder my friends.
It just says here that the interview said that he gleefully recounted that he sexually assaulted, and attempted to murder disabled fellow classmates.
Gleefully.
Yeah, which just sounds not cool.
So he's like smiling when he's saying this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I clicked the link and it says that he tortured disabled children.
That's like a 10 out of 10. I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be the top of my scale right there
Mm-hmm.
of not good.
Oh, okay. He said, this is one of his quotes. This isn't. I'm not going to read all of these because I feel like this entire article is really disturbing. But one of his quotes was, "I'd strip one disabled kid naked and roll him up in cords and make him masturbate. I made him eat shit and then performed a belly to back drop wrestling move on him." And apparently, all he did was when this came out was he issued an apology and then he said he won't step down. And then the Tokyo Olympic Committee on the same day, which is July 16th, said that they won't fire him.
Wow, that's. Did they end up firing him?
I don't know.
That's crazy. And like he's telling people this?
Yeah. In another interview, he said he admitted to what could be construed as attempted murder. He said, "Remember that case where kids rolled up another kid in a mattress and killed him? We did that sort of thing to the special needs kid and stuffed him in the vaulting horse."
What is a vaulting horse?
Not exactly sure. It's probably some gymnastics thing. But yeah, apparently they reached out to a family of one of the victims and said that the bullying almost drove their son to suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this is just awful. I'd say this one's probably like a 10 out of 10. It's awful. Just the fact that there's three different composers somehow. They managed to get three awful composers, and they didn't fire them. They just went with it.
That's
So
that's oh, that's it's not exactly a
yeah,
high note
yeah.
to start off on.
I think I'm gonna move on to the next article.
Oh, there's more?
I have a few articles here. A few
Is
interesting
this one more fun?
ones. This
Tell
one
me.
makes fun of white people now, which is nice.
Okay, that's fun.
Um, so apparently, the head of the Olympics committee in general came to Japan to speak one day, and
Mm-hmm.
he accidentally called, referred to the audience as Chinese instead of Japanese,
Oh,
and
that's not good.
apparently, people didn't translate that, like people were there. But then later on, obviously, newspapers caught up on it, and everyone gave him shit. And like, keep in mind here, like 80% of the Japanese public, 80 or 85%, some large percentage, didn't even want the Olympics. So uh,
Yeah,
that one,
because there were protesters outside at the opening ceremonies, right?
uh huh, yeah, no,
Because they weren't very happy with the, I guess the IOC's committee or decision to
mm-hmm.
move forward with it. But you can't cancel the Olympics.
Yeah. Um, here's an. Just give that one a rating quick. So I think we should just try and like rip through these, I guess, so we can get
Well,
to
was he
your bit.
giving a was he giving a speech or was
Yeah,
he speaking in
it was like an
French or
address. It was an
was he speaking
address.
French or what? What was he speaking?
I think it was English. I'm not sure.
Because French
Um,
is the language of the IOC, right?
Chief,
But if it was
Olympics
like
mascot.
if it was his native language, then that's pretty awful to not even
I'm
know where
pretty
you
sure it was his
are.
native language. Yeah,
What's his
he was
name?
talking about COVID and the games, and he referred to the people of Japan as Chinese.
Ooh.
Which, like, that's bro. It's the I, I think that one's just awful to like mess up like that. It's like how?
Yeah, it's like everybody knows that like China and Japan are two different countries,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And especially
Yeah.
if you're like the head of a body that is like about the competition between different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And like, a country that has hosted the same Olympics, like it had them, you know, 12 years ago, right? 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think you'd know what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty bad. Not as I mean, now that we've set the bar with our friends the composers, or let's not say friends.
Yeah, that.
That's like a 6, a 5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's no good, but
Yeah.
I don't think it compares to the other
As
two.
as an update, I did find an update for the thing. Apparently, the guy who made the Holocaust joke, that guy did get fired eventually.
That's good.
Um, and the guy who bullied people also quit, and so did the creative chief. But then again, they say quit, but it's I remember saying the history of Japan class I had where sorry, I just saw another really awful news article. He said apparently like it's a thing where people they choose to resign instead of getting fired.
Hmm.
Um, I'm skipping through a few of these articles that are just sad and just like people making not appropriate comments and jokes. Here's a more not quite funny but kind of interesting article.
Hmm.
Missing Ugandan Olympic left hopeful notes saying he wants to work in Japan. So, a
Missing?
Ugandan athlete who has gone missing in Tokyo ahead of the Olympic Games had left a note saying his life in the African country was too difficult and he wanted to work in Japan. So, supposedly, Julius Setkita a 20-year-old weightlifter, failed to qualify for the Games after his arrival in Japan and was due to fly back on July 20th. But then he bought a bullet ticket train 200 kilometers away in like Nagoya and just left.
He just like left to start his new life in Japan.
Yeah, he just
Well,
left.
good for him.
Yeah, yep, industrious. Turns out he was caught though. They did catch him, and he got sent back home.
What did he do? What crime did he commit?
I think it's like in general just like immigration type thing.
He was just a tourist. He was on a sorry, got a visa to go there, right?
Well, he did say he wants to work and live there now. But
Let him
they
in.
apparently detectives said that they're being questioned to establish whether there was a crime committed. So it
Oh,
was more like they just sent him back.
he's just one guy. Let him in.
Yeah,
Let him work.
yeah.
Maybe he could open a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Weightlifter, you know.
So what would you rate that one?
That's that's fine. That's I mean, it's sad. I'm sad he didn't get to stay in Japan in Tokyo. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's got to be like a 3. That's okay.
Okay. Now here's a bit more of a topical one. At least 100 U.S. athletes unvaccinated as Olympics begin.
What?
So supposedly only 83% of the Olympic athletes are vaccinated. Like 100 of the about 100 of like the 613 athletes aren't. And I guess that's not bad at face value, but when you think about the fact that, well, most countries aren't doing so well with the vaccinations. Japan itself only has about 17%, last I checked,
Yeah, it's pretty
vaccinated.
low.
It's just not a good look for the country that is often being criticized for hoarding vaccines.
Yeah,
That
I
not even
mean
its
like
entire Olympic team is vaccinated.
because it's at that point like you'd think I guess it's like a choice to not get vaccinated. It's not like they didn't have access to them, right? Because they're like Olympic athletes. I'm sure they could get
Mm-hmm.
the vaccine if they wanted to. I'm sure they could get
Mm-hmm.
it there if they wanted to.
Yeah, it
So
that one's just like I'm disappointed, but it's not really wacky and it's not really problematic. I kind of, but it's like it's more like really.
you'd think they'd require it to go to the games or something, right?
Yeah, no, I know they apparently have checks and everything, but they do have a lot of cases. Apparently,
Like how
there
many?
are 17 new Olympic-related COVID-19 cases in Japan as of the 24th. The total on the 24th is 127.
Like how many Olympic athletes are there? Like a few thousand?
Oh, I mean, like U.S. alone has like 600, and
Oh wow!
there's probably like way easily over 10, like 20,000 maybe 10, 20,000.
But is that like in the grand scheme of things? Is that a lot of vaccines? And assuming like they've been vaccinated at home, right? You think they'd have like enough vaccines, right, to just vaccinate
Mm-hmm.
them there. Like, so it's got to be a choice thing. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd like require it to go.
Yeah.
The U.S.
Apparently, like more than a dozen nations only sent 2 competitors. So
Yeah, yeah. Here's
actually,
what
maybe
they
there is one.
qualify for. Like the
Mm-hmm.
big ones, like the Dutch and U.S. and countries like that. They usually send a lot, right?
Mm-hmm. Rate, give that a quick out of 10.
That's boring. That's lame. That's a 1.
Now we got the interesting case, the interesting story. So remember a
Ooh.
while back about the cardboard beds of the Olympics?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of those.
So this is the news thing. Sorry. Olympians on TikTok are spilling the tea and testing the limits of their cardboard beds.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I'll give you the context here. So, over the past in the last year, because of sustainability, the Japanese government were experimenting with cardboard beds, so you can easily recycle them after the games are over. But in recent year, in like the past few weeks, there was like a comment saying like they'd also help stop sexual transmission of COVID-19 and other diseases, for example, because the Olympics are notorious for orgies and lots of sex. I think they. No, that's the thing. Do you not know that?
What?
Yeah.
Well, I
We'll get
assume
to
that
that after.
these.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, keep going.
yeah. So people like it went around the internet. People saying like, oh yeah, they made sex-proof beds, so they're made of cardboard. So if you have sex, then the bed will
Yeah,
collapse. Someone said that. That wasn't really the
that
intention.
collapse.
It was always going to be cardboard for the past year. But now on TikTok, all the Olympic athletes have been jumping around and testing their beds to make sure are they sex proof. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the entire thing. People are like dancing on their beds. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen. I see a bunch of Olympic athletes, mostly U.S. on my like TikTok feed,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen those videos and then like testing it out. But and
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the stuff about like there's, but they seem pretty sturdy. Like I've seen people jumping on them. They don't seem comfortable. I think there's like a mattress topper on. It's just like the
Yeah,
frame is cardboard.
yeah.
But
Apparently, like they can withstand like a lot of, like, yeah, 400 over like 480 pounds.
yeah, like cardboard's pretty strong when it's like upright, you know.
Mm-hmm. I've
But
heard like some people say it's not bad, but
to go to this orgies and sex of Olympic athletes, I assume that these superhumans, you put them in one little tiny village, they're gonna have sex, right? Because they're oozing of physical prowess,
yeah,
you know. I'm
like
guessing.
let me put it this
But
way:
orgies?
you have
What?
apparently it's happened, but like just sex in general. Apparently, like you have the peak of like human physical shape. They're the top of their respective sports. They spend their entire life training and under like the
Mm-hmm.
strict like eye of their parents, competitors, all their coaches, everything like this. And then you put all these just like peak physical form, peak like specimens of human beings in like one small village for however long the Olympics are. Of course, there's gonna be sex. There's been a
Yeah.
big thing about like how every year the Olympics has more and more condoms
Well, so
every year.
they're like, don't have sex,
Yeah,
but then they hand
but
out like tons of condoms. Yeah.
yeah, because like obviously for like all the HIV/AIDS stuff, like they still need to give it for safety wise, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, in the 2000 Sydney Games, 70,000 condoms weren't enough, prompting another order of 20,000. And then since
20,000?
then, each Olympics has had 100,000 condoms. And now, apparently, world record holding swimmer Ryan Lochte said that 70 to 75% of Olympians have sex.
Oh my god.
Just think about it. Pre-competition testosterone is running high. People have excess energy. They have a training diet of 9,000 calories, and now they're
Does
not
that not
training.
seem like crazy high? 75%?
Yeah, no, that's high.
Like
Sorry.
3 and 4 Olympians are like single people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Seems pretty, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. I just heard this. And Brew Greer, an American javelin thrower, said even if their face is a 7, their body is a 20.
That seems mean.
Yeah, so people just have a shit ton of sex during the Olympics.
Good
But
for them.
apparently, it is a problem with underage Olympians and young
Yeah.
Olympians for obvious
Like,
reasons.
yeah, clearly.
But yeah, no, they have lots of sex. And the funny thing about the Olympics games in Tokyo, where obviously they can't, they have to enforce social distancing, but they kind of have to have give out condoms because like they can't, they have to, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. So the Tokyo Olympics had approximately 160,000 free condoms. So they said, don't have sex, but take this ludicrous amount of condoms. They're only souvenirs to take home.
Oh,
So you take them home and have
souvenirs.
sex at home.
You
Just
take me, not
no
here.
contact. Not here.
Not on
No,
my
none here.
watch.
Out of the
No, thank
15,
you.
just think about it. There's 160,000 condoms, right? And there's approximately 15,000 Olympians. That's
I was
actually
I
it's
was
only
about to
10.6
look
per
up
person.
like sex Olympics, but I
Uh,
feel like that
oh,
would give me a different result than what
yeah, no, I think that'd be give you a very different
so I'm
result.
not gonna do that.
Uh huh.
That's crazy.
But yeah, no, that's the thing.
It's just like it's like a summer camp for just super athletes.
Uh, so give that one a rating, and I want to do one last story.
Well,
This one's a funny one.
that one's fun. That's a
Yeah.
1 or a 0.
Uh,
That's not bad at all. That's
okay.
lots of fun.
Like you would still give like a 1 for like just fun.
Can I give a 0? Can I go negative?
And I was gonna say like the scale from 1 to 10, it wasn't like if they're problematic or like fun. It was more like how good, as in like interesting of an article was
Oh, that's great. That's a 10. That's
it? Okay.
fun. A different kind of 10 though than the earlier ones.
Mm-hmm. So
Different flavor.
here is the final article here. Australia says furry representation with 2021 Olympic mascots.
Now, can
So,
you tell me more
so
about this? I'm really interested.
here's the story. So, the Australian government want to get mascots, right, for
Yeah.
the Olympics, and they're working with a store called Woolworths, and they put out a
Mm.
contest, and people submit their art. So, the person who actually won this, uh, was commissioned to pretty much make what are personas. I'll send you a picture in the link in the Discord right now to the article. You can probably find photos of it online as well. But
Sure, sure, sure.
where is this? Heaney. So it is full on personas. The quote, some guy on Twitter said, "So the Olympics are soon. How's your country trying to drum up national pride?" Well, here in Australia, supermarket chain Woolworths is having a collectible sticker series for kids to collect all of our athletes with outrageously furry mascots.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Look at these guys.
So what really happened was they sent it all in, and the Australian Royal Australian Mint said it wanted someone who could draw anime art. And this is the quote from the person who actually made it. Their Twitter username was Sailor Failures. And they said, "Rest assured, the people employing me had no idea what furries were." So, as it turns out, the person who actually drew it, didn't draw furry art at all, period. They drew humans, like anime style and everything, right? Just humans, no furries. But
Yeah.
in like the photos that they requested, they asked like anime style, and then in all the photos they requested, like it was like, oh, we want you to draw like this. There was furry art.
Oh
So they
my
drew
god.
as they were asked, and it just happened to be furry art. And I mean, if you get the opportunity to draw furry art for the Australian
There's a
government, you kind of have
lizard
to.
one.
Yeah, there's a lizard, Lizzie,
Lizzie the
and
lizard. There's like a kangaroo
yeah,
and a dingo, I guess.
mm-hmm.
I like this Twitter comment. I'm looking at the little Twitter post. Damn, wish I could nab those over here in America. All right.
Yeah. So the person who actually made it seemed a little bit apologetic. Um, it seems like they're a bit annoyed about like everyone's treating this as like a scandal, but it just the artist said like described furries as a funky and largely harmless bunch who hold a refreshing level of respect for the artist's work. But I think it could be assumed that some people probably are doing not great things to these personas.
Oh, don't be doing anything to the Olympic personas.
Mm-hmm.
You leave them alone.
But yeah, I mean, just imagine that you walk into Woolsworth. You've been
Mm-hmm.
on the internet for more than like 5-10 minutes, so you know
Oi,
what furries are.
I'm walking into Woolsworth.
And you say, "Hey, I like the
Hey,
Olympics.
I
Let me,
like the Olympics.
let me see. That's Brit. It's really shitty British.
Let me see then.
Let me see what these mascots are." And then you pick it up, and it's just furry art.
Crikey, furries. Like that, yeah.
Yeah, because the last quote here is like, it was honestly a lot of pressure once I realized they wanted anthros because I knew the furry community would know and be on my ass if I drew something terrible or uncanny valley. Lamau. So
That's pretty
they had
good
to.
though. I mean,
This is probably my favorite article of all the Olympics. It's nothing bad, and it's just kind of funny.
I'm
Just
trying to
like
think of
they
like
didn't
the
know it.
previous, because are there like the Tokyo has like their own I think each Olympic Games has mascots, right?
Yeah,
Like
like you can search up
Vancouver,
the Vancouver mascots. They were
they
fun.
were
The Calgary
fun.
mascots
There was
as
like
well.
a whale, I think, a killer whale or an orca.
I know that it was.
Uh,
Is this Calgary or what is this? They had
Calgary,
a
in like
Sumi,
'90s.
Kwachi, Miga, and Mukmuk.
Yeah, they were fun. I like
They were
those guys.
animals, but they
Yeah,
weren't
but
anthropomorphic.
they looked like animals.
Yeah. Um, I'm just thinking, like, do you think that this like led to furries? Like, are kids going to become furries now in Australia because of these mascots?
Um,
There's
definitely some. Definitely.
definitely some. Definitely some.
There's no way that some child is not seeing this and he's like 12 years old and he's like, well, wait a minute,
Awooga, awooga.
what's this feeling I'm getting? And that leads him down like just a terrible. This is like the inciting incident in his life, and he'll look back and say like, this is
Mm-hmm.
why, you know, I am the way I am,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing we can do anymore to stop that. That's so sad, actually.
God.
Not even this is like global now. This is like around the world.
Yeah, this is the furries. They're seizing. This is like their like path to power. They've been slowly putting subliminal messages in the Olympic organizers of the
Yeah,
Australian Royal Mint, saying it's like,
normalized furries.
yeah,
Yeah.
normalized furries, and that's what this is. This is a movement. The Olympics are all about coming together,
Mm-hmm.
diversity, and overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
Olympics, Paralympics, everything. The earlier articles, they weren't that. They're problematic. They're just awful to listen to and awful to read. But furries once again come to save the day. It happens time and time again.
Furries.
There's a video of like it went viral like years back of this one guy like yelling and like abusing his wife in the car, and then a few furries just come beat the shit out of him,
Oh my
saving
god.
the woman. I think furries are the, whether we like it or not, they seem to be causing the like fixing the world in front of us.
Did they put it on the planes?
I think they
Oh
did.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
It's a thing.
Here's what the artist said. Found the screenshot. All aboard Fur Air. I like that.
No.
All
I don't
right,
know if I like that one.
we're gonna pivot and we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about some Olympic events previous. I think they're all Summer Olympics. So I'm going to talk about them, and I want to know how you think you do.
Okay.
So the first one
Now in peak
is,
form or just in general?
let's just say like you had a year to train.
Okay.
Solo synchronized swimming.
So I was a swimmer in middle school, like up to middle school. I was on the swim team for my middle school, and I was just okay. But give it a year, synchronized swimming. I think I know myself pretty well. However, my limbs are gangly. I'm a little bit lanky, despite me trying to build muscle. So I think I'd look a bit awkward. Uh, I'd, I'd say like below average, less than
Below.
mediocre.
Okay. So, like, but the idea of like solo synchronized swimming, it should really just be called like solo swimming,
But
because like
I
it.
assumed like you'd be synchronized to like a music, like a song.
But it's not synchronized. The synchronized is like because you're multiple swimmers who are in sync, right? That's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be in sync alone. That's just doing something, right?
Yeah. I think it's weird though about this. I just checked this out. It This was a sport for 3 years between 1984 and 1992. So somehow it took the organizers 3 Olympics to figure out that you can't be synchronized alone.
Yeah, they're like, wait, three Olympics
3 Olympics, three of them.
over what is it? 12 years.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's the thing.
No, that's 8 years. Not bad. Uh, okay, so that just seems. I mean, if you're a good synchronized swimmer, I guess you're a good solo synchronized swimmer. So you get kind of two birds with one stone in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no. From a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say maybe 3, 4.
Okay. The next one, I like these because these take sort of human-based activities, and we make animals do them. So there's a horse, a long jump, and a horse high jump.
So you said I have a year to train for this. So am I in a fursuit or am I on the
No, you're
horse?
not the horse. You're riding the horse. The horses aren't competitors.
Well, I'm sorry. You said like they're human sports, but you make the animals do them. I didn't. We were talking about furries. I'm not. I just like. Are you? I was like, are you asking me to
Okay,
become a
I see
furry in
the
a year?
confusion. I'll give you the option. Either you can be the horse or the person on the horse.
So in the fursuit,
The two man
two.
horse, the 2 man horse costume. Yeah,
Will you be in the horse fursuit with me?
yeah. Do you
That's
want to
very
be the
important.
front or the back? What do you?
Um,
You have more leg strength or
I have bad knees. I have a bad
okay,
knee. So I'd say you go in the front, right?
right?
You do the initial jump, and then you pull me when you jump,
Oh,
and then
okay, yeah.
I'll like flip over you and pull you. And I think we do pretty well.
Oh, like a little somersault, like a flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Or I could go in the front, and then when you come up, I can just like throw you, it's like flip you over when you get close enough. Let's get enough momentum. It's like
Mm-hmm.
throwing a bag of rice, except we're both in a fursuit.
Okay, good. Now this
But
was
on a
in the
horse, I think maybe
horse.
a. Fun fact: I almost broke my ribs because I was looking at my camera when I was in India 2 years ago, looking down the camera, and I almost got kicked by a horse.
Ooh, okay.
So I'd say maybe a 4.
Like, do you think I find Esquire equestrian? What's the word? Like
Equestrian.
sports to be weird because it's like it's not. I mean, obviously, like there's skill involved and like you're directing the horse and stuff, but this one's just like isn't the horse doing most of the work? It's a jump. Like it's just jumping,
Hmm.
right?
A lot of it does have to do with like your bond with the horse, like making sure it's comfortable and everything. But yeah, no, a lot of it is just the horse. But you do need a certain amount of training to be able to like do well on the horse, right? Like make comfortable guided, all that sort of stuff. Because I think on the side of you on the horse, it's mainly just like how you optimize the route. I think.
Okay,
I don't know.
okay. This next one is basically just the first part of a regular event, but just
Mm-hmm.
isolated. So this is a plunge for distance. So you know how in
Plunge.
swimming, when the swimmers jump in, they sort of do a
Mm-hmm.
little wiggle in the water for a while, and they surface.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a limit to how far swimmers can go underwater, like rules of how far they can go,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like 10 meters or something,
Mm-hmm.
or 15. And so
Mm-hmm.
after that point, they have to surface, right? Because you could go the whole way underwater, and it's faster, right? Because there's no like resistance really, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this one is just the plunge for distance, and you just jump in the water and try and go as far as possible until you surface.
Now, I searched up a video for this. Apparently, the
Okay.
Olympic record was set on a 60-second time limit for the plunge.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found a video of some guy, Alexander Owen, at like some school event. He just jumps in the water and then he floats out, but then he just doesn't surface for like 2 minutes, just like arms out, just going as far as he can before he runs out of air. And I think I could probably do pretty well in the plunge.
I,
I
are
think I
they
like diving.
allowed to swim? You think, or do you just have to like use your like body to propel yourself?
You can't use your body at all. I think it's like you just plunge and just that initial thing. You can float,
So,
but you can't move.
what kind of event is that? That's like, imagine there was like a game where it's like, oh, you just slide on ice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's like the luge. Um, but there's obviously more to luge, right?
Yeah.
This just seems like what's the point? You're just underwater.
Yeah. Like
How do you
anything
train for
here.
that? You just, I mean, I feel like, yeah, like you said, like I could be above average on this one.
I like here's the thing. I'm looking at the records here and for the plunge. And with the 60-second time limit, the distance record was right now the official one is 86 feet 8 inches. That's the world record. Done in 1933.
Is that like how far? It's not like that far, right?
86 feet to meters.
Do you have to like you do like a running start, or you just sort of like
Just from the board. 26 meters.
that's like that's half a length of a pool.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
And here it is. So, and the best time for 60 feet, so going 60 feet, the best time was 14.4 seconds,
That's pretty good.
set in 1927. All these records, the top record is from like 1933.
I guess because
For
no one does them.
yeah, so I think we could honestly train and do this.
Yeah,
Um,
let's do it. Let's win. Oh my god.
that man, I sent him a photo. That man is 17.
No.
Yeah, he's 17. So we found a photo of Fred Schwett, who apparently set the world
Okay.
record in 1920 at the age of 17. And this man looks like he's like 30.
Yeah. I guess he's like.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, okay. Schwett was reportedly able to coast 75 feet after 90 days of practice. Dude, we can do this so easily.
Like he just heard, like he's like us. He's like, you heard about this? Like, oh, I can do that, and he did it. He
Yeah,
just did it.
like, what the fuck? William Dickey won the Olympic gold medal in 1904. Dude, what the fuck? I could win this. Like, sorry, I'm getting like, I don't want to be like arrogant, but holy shit, if it's floating like a dead fish, I got that.
Yeah, easy. Okay, this next one I actually take offense to because I've done this event.
Oh,
It's the steeplechase,
oh,
and steeplechase is basically it's in the Olympics it's a 3,000 meter run, so 3K. And there's 4 hurdles, and the hurdles are shorter than a typical hurdle. They're very like big and like bulky, so you can like actually step on them. And
they are in the Olympics again, by the way.
yeah, I know.
Oh, okay, yes, sorry.
Um, and in one of the hurdles, there's a big pool of water that's about 2 feet deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to jump over that hurdle and then past the water. You kind of land in the water a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird event. It's kind of like you're sort of taking a cross country style thing and like putting it on a track, but it's not like, I mean, hearing about it sounds weird, but I think it's like a good event, right?
Mm-hmm.
It adds a dynamic of up and down to a long distance race. You don't get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no long distance race that has hurdles, right? Like, the
Mm-hmm.
longest is like 400 or 800, right? I think there's like 400 is the longest hurdles, right? So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a cool event.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that being
Now,
said, 3K run with 4 hurdles in a pool of water. How you doing?
no, just
No.
no. I don't do it. Henry, you've seen me run. I'm not a great runner. I got bad knees. I get tired easily. I feel like I'm more of like a strength person, and even then, barely. I'd lose horribly.
Yeah,
Like, here's the thing.
it
I did
takes it
watch
out
a
of you.
movie though. I watched a movie called Bouncing Gilmore about a this one Indian guy who's like 7-time national champion. Fun fact: he also died in a police encounter, and in the movie they made him do a steeplechase, right before he died. That's an aside, but yeah, no, I think lose. I lose
All right.
horribly.
Now I like this one. This is like my favorite because like I like to watch this event. It's
Mm-hmm.
walking,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, so. You ever seen a walking race?
Yeah, yeah, race
These
walking.
people move as fast as some people run, and it's like insanely impressive because you feel like you kind of like lock your knees out, you know.
They've, I've seen video like they just move their hips really weird.
They kind of like swing their legs around because like you're kind of trying to like bounce on your legs, but you can't have both feet, or one foot has to be on the ground at all times, unlike running, right? Where like you have
Mm-hmm.
no feet on the ground
Mm-hmm.
at times, right? And you have to like lock your knees out and do like this weird like, yeah, hip push, and like your legs kind of swivel and your arms are like really pumping, and you're like, it's like speed walking. I mean, it's tough, you know?
Also, like noting the fact that it's a 20-kilometer race. Apparently, I'm looking here,
Yeah,
and a lot of these people walk a mile in 7 minutes.
that's insane. I ran a 7 minute mile yesterday and I was like hurting.
Sorry, 6.5 minute mile.
That's amazing.
Yeah, what?
Let's see.
Yeah,
Race walking
they look like soccer moms.
12.5. They're doing 8 points. Wait, what is it? 12.5 kilometers per hour. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Like for the year's training, I don't know. I feel like I walk fast for like my friend group, but like race walking, I don't know if I don't think I can do it, man.
It's like 7.8 miles per hour.
Yeah,
That's insane. That's
but
so
here's
fast for walking.
but here's the thing. I'm looking here, and apparently it's like there's a lot of people in the event, right? Like in the I'm looking at the tally, they like counted up to like the 650 or the 60th like competitor, right?
Yeah.
But I think if everything aligns up right, I don't think I could get last. Sure, there's like maybe like
Really?
yeah, because you're saying there's at least 63 I'm looking here, but a lot of people DNF'd or disqualified. I think I could at least I can't get last if someone disqualifies. So although I get shit on, I'd say maybe a
Okay.
one or a two. I wouldn't win, but at
Oh.
least I'd make the board by
You
not getting
think you
disqualified.
could like you
I
could
wouldn't be last.
complete the Olympic. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
That's
like
a I feel like that's a bold claim.
I don't even know about beating it, but I don't think I'd be last just because I didn't just. Obviously, I'd be last when people can beat it,
So
but
you'd
I wouldn't
focus on the
disqualify.
technicals, you know. You'd be like,
Yeah,
I can't beat them on speed, but I'm gonna stay in the race till the very end, you know.
exactly. That's what I do, and I think I'm confident in that. You know what? No, I'm if I'm taking that as a criteria, 9 or 10. But for actually competing and like doing well and winning, like without the bit, no, horrible.
It's just like the way they move. It's like it's kind of hypnotizing.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
How do you even get into that sport? It's like, oh, I don't want to run, but I think I'll do some race walking. You
Um,
know, it's like it's silly.
yeah, I like you're making fun of these people who are in far more peak physical form. Do you think they have a lot of sex at the Olympics?
No,
No, you think people make fun of the speed walkers?
are you? I'm just saying like
That's fucked up.
the race walkers.
Yeah, you
I
don't
don't
think that
think
you don't think they pull.
I don't think they're the ones. God, but they do. They move though. Oh my God. I'm
Would
just watching a
sorry,
little video. Look at them turn a corner. Ugh.
would the speed strat be putting like a pebble in your shoe? That's like steroids.
Why would you do that?
To go faster.
Why? What? Kind of like it would make you want to go quick.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be running, but you know when you have a pebble in your shoe and you're walking somewhere, you just like walk a little bit faster.
I think you'd want more comfort than less. You know, it's a long race.
But like at the end, like I have like a tactical like pebble I can put in. It's like an hour and a half long race, right?
Oh, it's like the little kick at the end. You like activate
Yeah,
pebble.
yeah. I can like kick like my shoes together, and I have like pebbles coming both.
I would drink a bunch of water at the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I gotta go to the washroom,
Uh
and so
huh.
I'm hustling. Because if I don't hustle, I'm peeing my pants live on Olympic television.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they say like pissing like a racehorse, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what they do to racehorses. So you
So
know,
are you coming out in public saying that you'd want to piss yourself at the Olympics?
no, I said I wouldn't. That's why I would walk quicker. You're not listening.
Mm-hmm.
I would drink a lot of water so I wouldn't piss myself.
Okay. Sorry. By the way, there was I looked at the 20 kilometer. There's also a 50 kilometer one, by the way.
Of walking? Well, they have
Yeah,
marathons
race
in the
walking,
Olympics, right?
but a 50 kilometer race walking. And keep in mind that oh my god, yeah, like the 20 kilometer one took an hour and a half. That's like a 5 hour race.
Wow.
But I'm looking at the article, and this guy's like very very like angry that it was being taken out, right? The Olympics. But he's saying like it's not lost on me that the 50 kilometer race walk is in its last ever Olympics because the IOC can't sell tickets to it, and the Olympics have no spine. Maybe one of the only events with live spectators. Because that makes sense. I feel like it's something that like anyone can just watch, and just because it is race walking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by nature of it having to go off roads, people can watch that still.
I'd love to see a video of like race walkers, but it's like sped up and race car sounds are added. And so you just see like this dude, like his hips are swaying. He's like, meow,
Evan
meow.
Dunphy. Yeah.
That's what I want. So yeah, I think I could. I don't know. Like, I don't think I could train running in a year to be Olympic level. So I don't think I could race walk in a year.
I don't think I can either, but I think just the DNF and disqualification thing, I think I could at least like
Yeah,
I'd still be there.
that's fair. That's fair.
It might take me a long time, but I'll do it.
You'll get there.
I do think like I'm a pretty fast walker, so
Bet these guys have big calves though. They gotta be
oh
rocking
yeah,
big
no.
calves, right?
Dude, their shoes. They must like go through shoes so quick. I feel like would they like go through shoes more if than people who, like sprint and run?
Uh,
I feel like they might.
why? More steps?
Yeah, because like they have like shorter strides. I think that's how they do it. They have like short
More
strides.
steps per kilometer?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. Less impact though, because they're kind of like a little softer,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, no, I guess that
don't
makes sense.
laugh at me. That makes
No,
sense.
I was definitely thinking about that.
They're very gentle.
Mm-hmm.
No, but they probably got like tons of shoes. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's like special race walking shoes that are different
Probably.
from
I
running
think they
shoes.
do.
I want to see a track based race walking event. with like
Race walking
spikes.
steeplechase.
Yeah.
You gotta like climb over. I honestly think they should things they should put in the Olympics. One, like an obstacle course, like Wipeout.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
then two, have you seen World Race Tag?
Yes.
Dude, that shit is insane.
That
I think
should be an
that
Olympic
should be an
sport.
Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Like
Let's go.
that's
Okay, so
hard.
2024, we'll have what do you call it? We'll be there for
Mhm.
tag, race walking, the plunge, multi. I think like that's how it used to be back in the day. It was like
The furry
one
horse thing.
athlete would do like 5 events and they'd be like nothing alike.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like shooting, um, the hammer throw, the
Mm-hmm.
long like a sprint, and they have like because they're just like they just did it all, you know.
Mm-hmm. Just
Because
like well rounded.
yeah, they were not even like they weren't like good at any of them.
And
It's just
here's
like
the
there were
thing.
like 10 athletes, and it was like they just all did like the same like 20 things.
Here's the thing. I think that the hardest part about it was that like color didn't even exist back then, so everything was in black and white. You know.
Yeah, that'd make it tough to tell who's
Yeah.
who, what team.
It was only after like the Wizard of Oz that like color was invented, right?
Yeah, for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, it took a while to get around.
Yeah, there's not a lot of adoption. I know Alfred Hitchcock really didn't like it. So
Yeah,
you ever seen Vertigo? He was actually against seeing the world in color. It was like Logan Paul, like seeing in color for the first time because he's colorblind, right?
yeah,
It's like that.
like me.
You're not
Wow.
colorblind. You're
I
not.
am.
No, you're not.
I can't see red and green
No,
properly. My cones. My
you're
cones
just
don't
doing
pick
that.
up
You're
them.
just doing that to get out of the like
Draft?
accident. What?
The
No.
accident?
Yeah, remember when you ran me over with a bus, and then you said both me and my uncle, and
Both
then
of
you
you
said
astronauts.
sorry, I couldn't see red or green, so I didn't know to stop or where to go, so I just went, and you were there.
Yeah.
It was really weird because we weren't even on the road; we were like in the middle of a park. But
Yeah, well, I didn't see the lights.
yeah, you
So,
didn't see the grass either. You thought it was asphalt.
green means go. Okay. I think. Do you think?
I think we're
I
kind of
think
reaching the end.
we can wrap. We're at our wits' end talking about the plunge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so catch us on 2024. Where is it? Let me get a
2024 summer. Did they
fact
move
check.
it back a year?
No, it's in here.
Paris.
Paris
Oh, that's being
2024.
awful.
Uh, we will be there for the plunge, race walking, solo synchronized swimming,
Horse long jump and triple jump.
horse long jump in the 2-man horse costume, and we will win all of them. All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. See y'all.